Hello everyone. Carahsoft Technology would like to welcome you to our Brightcove and 3Play Media webcast. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few housekeeping items. All of your lines have been muted to reduce any background noise, and we hope you take full advantage of the chat pod on the left side of your screen to ask any questions throughout the presentation. We will do our best to answer all of your questions at the end of the presentation. If for some reason we do not get to your questions, the Brightcove and 3Play Media team at Carahsoft will follow up with you offline. Carahsoft is a trusted government IT solutions provider, delivering software and support solutions to federal, state, and local government agencies. Carahsoft maintains dedicated teams to support sales and marketing for all its vendors, including Brightcove, 3Play Media, Symantec, Adobe, Data Domain, VMware, and Red Hat. Our contact information will be at the end of the presentation. Call or email us for any. This webcast is being recorded, and a copy of the presentation will be emailed to you. At this time, I would like to introduce our speakers for today, Adam Jacobs, the Brightcove and 3Play Media account representative at Carahsoft, Josh Miller, co-founder of 3Play Media, and we also have Michael Moore, technical director at Brightcove, who will be available for questions and answers at the end of the presentation. Adam, Josh, and Michael, the floor is all yours.
Thanks, Andrea. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Jacobs, and I'm the account representative for both Brightcove and 3Play Media at Carahsoft. I started working closely with Brightcove a year ago and more recently with 3Play Media, and I'm excited to help present to you all today. Very quickly, I wanted to give you all an agenda for this webcast. I'll be presenting a brief introduction to Brightcove for those on the webcast who are unfamiliar with us, and then an overview of online video on the web to discuss interactive transcripts, search engine optimization, and 508 compliance with online video. Josh, Mike Moore, and I will then take about 15 minutes to answer any questions that may come up. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So Brightcove was founded in 2004 by Jeremy Allaire, who some of you may know from his previous work with Cold Fusion. It was founded on the premise that one day video would become as ubiquitous as text on the web, and it's a vision that has largely proven out. And as a result of this, the market opportunity and demand for video-related solutions is exploding, as we'll discuss in a minute. So at its core, Brightcove is an online video platform that helps organizations of all sizes publish video through their websites and syndicated partner sites to desktops and devices roll. As an example of what Brightcove can handle, I've included some screenshots from the IMF video page. Both of these screens are from the same site with the same experience, but one is Flash and one is in HTML5. Brightcove handled all the encoding so that IMF didn't have to. So Brightcove has over 2,800 customers, powering over 60,000 sites worldwide, supporting every imaginable vertical and use case. On a daily basis, we average over 150 million player loads, resulting in over 35 million streams delivered, and we ingest over 5 hours of content every 60 seconds. Therefore, we're second only to YouTube in delivering video on the internet, and with that brings a tremendous amount of market insight, insight that we share with you, our customer, allowing you to strengthen your presence on the web to extend your agency's message to more people. I'd like to say that that myself and everyone at Brightcove would now be an extension of your online video team, and would like you guys to consider us, subject matter experts for everything that is online video. This includes our team of over 100 engineers who are focused each and every day on developing highly scalable yet customizable platforms, and our 60-plus professionals in post-sales support that ensure that every Brightcove customer is well supported and successful. In areas that I'd like to highlight about the technology that creates multiple renditions of your videos and delivers multi-bit rate streaming. This means that no matter what device your viewers are accessing your videos with, be it a connected HD TV or an Android smartphone, they're watching a smooth video stream greater than 99% of the time. We also have detailed out-of-the-box analytics to help you measure viewer behavior and gauge the success of your online video. Since this cast is entirely about the transcription and search engine optimization, 508 support, I'm going to skip over that for a second. But we also provide the background technology you need to deliver quality mobile experience on nearly every device. We handle the complexities of HTML5 versus Flash so that you don't have to. Brightcove customers also can now manage their YouTube content directly from their Brightcove studio, making the management of their content on the web that much easier when it's all done from one place. And, of course, we have live event support. Through the integration with Akamai, Brightcove can provide you with all you would need to easily deliver high-quality live streams through your branded players with the ability for live DVR functionality, meaning the viewer can pause and rewind live events with our platform. So with that, I want to share some of our thoughts and insights that demonstrate Brightcove's unique value proposition. As you can imagine, with our size and scope, we monitor the online video market very closely, and we constantly share our observations and insights with both current and future customers. So here's an example of this insight. This graphic represents the relative use of traffic on the web over the last 20 years. You can see that video has been exploding in recent years, and is currently over 51%, and that share is still growing. And one of the insights that we've been able to garner from this growth is that video equates to engagement, and engagement drives traffic, and this is a key concept for us. And this here's another look at online video growth just over the last few years. And as you can see, the online video views has more than tripled from just under 10 billion views per month in 2007 to more than 30 billion views per month in 2010. And we expect it will explode again in 2011. And websites simply cannot afford to ignore the need to have high-quality video environment on their pages with this growth. This chart represents the distribution of online videos on the web. As you can see, with properties such as Facebook having a growing play in this space. However, almost half of video distributed on the web comes from the rest of the web, including site-specific content. So if an agency is only putting videos up on YouTube, for instance, then they're missing out on a very large number of viewers. Agencies just can't afford to continue to ignore these trends. There was a time not too long ago when putting video on the site was pretty straightforward, but the market has actually significantly changed with the proliferation of mobile devices, the emergence of connected TVs, and the explosion of social media as a powerful new medium. For brand management, that speed at which this change has occurred. And finally, our customers need to accurately measure their success, and all of this has become complicated very quickly. Take a close look at some of the terms on this slide. If there's anything on here that you may not be considering and tackling when it comes to your online video solution, I can almost guarantee that there's going to come a point where your solution will hit a wall. The investment needed to get past that wall could potentially be very large and consume a lot of man-hours. And by the way, Brightcove's platform takes care of all of these features. In summary, Brightcove helps agencies eliminate the complexity and drive more business value with video. So I'm not exactly sure how familiar this group is with the Brightcove platform, so let me provide just a quick overview to wrap up my portion of this presentation. Brightcove helps you easily upload and manage videos either manually or programmatically. It can be done by a user in our studio or through automatic processes via an integrated DAM or CMS systems leveraging our APIs. Next, we encode and store and organize your assets. We help you easily create custom players and playlists, manage live events, metadata, mobile delivery, and leverage analytics, all from our intuitive, easy-to-use console. And from there, we help you easily deliver a high-quality video content experience to any destination or distribution partner. So if you'd like a high-level demonstration of this workflow, please reach out to me after the event today. And if you'd like a technical dive into what we can provide, I'd be glad to have one of Brightcove's engineers walk you through the product at a detailed level. And with that, I'm going to hand things over to Josh Miller. So go ahead, Josh.
Great, thanks, Adam. So my name is Josh Miller. I'm one of the co-founders. I'm going to give a bit of an overview of captions and interactive transcripts. I'm also going to give a little bit of an overview on the accessibility laws that are in place today and the benefits of captions and interactive transcripts. I'll also be providing a guide on how you as a video publisher can add captions and interactive transcripts to your videos, specifically with the Brightcove player and platform, and to show how easy it is that we set up the two systems to work together. So what are closed captions? Captioning refers to the process of taking audio track, transcribing the words to text, and synchronizing them with the audio or video. Captions are typically located underneath the video or overlaid on top of the video towards the bottom. In addition to spoken words, captions are supposed to convey all meaning, including all sound effects. This is a key difference from subtitles. Captions originated actually in the early 1980s by an FCC mandate that applied to all of broadcast television. Clearly that's expanded today. So captioning versus transcription. Transcription is a part of the captioning process, but the difference is that transcripts are not necessarily time synchronized. It's often just a plain text document. Then captioning versus subtitling. Subtitling is a little bit different from captioning in that subtitles assume that the viewer does not have a hearing. Subtitles capture the spoken content, but not sound effects. Typically, subtitles would be used to convey words in a different language, and it's possible to create multilingual subtitles. And then closed captions are included in a way on the video that allows the viewer to turn them on or off. Open captions, in contrast, are always being shown on the video and cannot be turned off. Then finally, post-production versus real-time. This has to do with the timing of the processing. So post-production means that the captioning occurs offline. It's for on-demand content and can take anywhere from a few hours to a few days to complete. Whereas real-time captioning is what a lot of people are familiar when it comes to making some jokes about captioning on television because it's all live and it's actually a court stenographer typing pretty much as fast as possible. Quick overview of some of the accessibility laws in place right now. So starting with Section 508, that requires federal electronic and information technology to be accessible to people with disabilities, including employees and the public. For video, this means that captions must be added. For podcasts and audio files, a transcript is often sufficient. Section 504 entitles people with disabilities to equal access to any program or activity that receives federal financial assistance. And then most recently, the 21st Century Video Communications and Accessibility Act that was signed into law in October expands closed caption requirements for all online video that previously aired on television. The easiest example there would be a lot of the Hulu content really should have captions because it aired on television. So expanding legislation to move beyond network television is also being discussed and was part of the bill that was originally put in Congress. So many states have also enacted similar legislation and often refer in their state legislation to the federal legislation in place in Section 508 and Section 504. So very quickly about caption formats with web video. With there being many different web players, there are also different formats that are used for each video player. So this image shows what a typical SRT caption format looks like. It's basically time starting and time ending of a particular caption frame and then the accompanying text. YouTube actually is one of the big platforms that uses the SRT format. The Brightcove player would take the DFXP format. These are all standard formats that we produce, but it's just a quick view of how quickly online video can become complex. So now, what are interactive transcripts? These are clearly a little bit newer to online video. So here's some of the basic characteristics of what is in an interactive transcript. Unlike closed captions, there's more of the transcript being displayed, and it's often or always outside the video image. The text is precisely synchronized with the media, and it's actually actionable. We'll talk more about that. So how are captions and interactive transcripts used? Both interactive transcripts and captions can be displayed in many different ways. We've actually built our interactive transcripts to be quite flexible in the way they're implemented, so they can be below or next to the player. We're going to take a quick look at some actual websites right now, and just to show you a couple examples. And to help boost inbound traffic and search engine optimization is the ability to share clips. So if I highlight an interesting portion here, you get the option down at the bottom to create a clip. And when they look at this exact portion of the video. Now another example is with the MIT Infinite History site. Again, you'll see the Brightcove player on top and the interactive transcript below. One interesting piece here is actually implemented what we call archive search here on the right. So what is search across what are, in this case, 100 different videos by keyword. So if I type in the word technology, I can search all 100 interviews, and I can see visually where hits are for that word. That's also another plugin that can be used leveraging these time-synchronized transcripts and the Brightcove, especially the Brightcove integration that we have. I'm going to switch back to the slides now. So real quick about some of the benefits of interactive transcripts and captions. With interactive transcripts, obviously you have a little bit more ability to do search and other user actions for quick navigation through a video. An interesting now. So instead of saying, hey, take a look at this video, it gets really interesting at the 6-minute mark, you can actually point someone to that exact point. Text is also a really key component of improving the SEO performance of your videos. Transcripts are able to be a accessibility solution for hearing impaired viewers and people in noisy environments, which is something to consider as well. And finally, transcripts are the first requirement to translating content into other languages for broader audiences. I want to quickly talk a little bit about search engine optimization and just some basic best practices for video. Here are just a couple points, and there are definitely other things to consider as well. Video search engine optimization is all about making it easier videos to be found on websites, and for sites like Google to actually identify pages and videos that have the search terms that have been entered. So here are some basic principles. One thing that we like to consider beyond basic search engine optimization is the overall optimization of video itself. So are you making it more engaging and more likely for someone to want to share that link or that video with their followers? Something that's really important, but a little bit outside of just traditional SEO, but really something that should be considered. We're going to walk a little bit up the overview of the steps involved in how to publish captions and interactive transcripts. Getting an account set up is very quick. Some things to keep in mind about our account system is that it's very secure and you can set permission levels if you want to have multiple users within one account. We aim to make workflows really as unobtrusive as possible. We've built an integrated workflow for Brightcove users to try to make that as easy as possible. So using the Brightcove API, you can actually view all of the videos that you've already uploaded into your Brightcove account from your 3Play Media account. So all you have to do is press a button to start processing a file for a transcript or a caption. And we also, when this happens, we also ingest the metadata and video ID information that is in the Brightcove platform so that we can associate all of that data with the transcript file as well to make the overall integration of the different tools much, much easier down the road. So once the transcript and captions are created, really all you have to do is add the caption plugin to the player that you're going to publish in your Brightcove account, and then you have to add a little bit of code to the web page. For interactive transcripts, we actually have a plugin builder within the account. You can configure the interactive transcript however you like, and so you can select various parameters such as whether you enable the clipping feature, transcript downloading, whether it collapses or not. You can also pick from different skins. You then update the settings, and you get the code that you would then include when you embed the Brightcove player on your web page. You can also have access to many different transcript and caption formats. So if you're using some of Brightcove's features to automatically publish to YouTube, for example, you could also put captions on your YouTube files. Also, if you are going to be doing SEO features, there are places where you'd want to use a plain text transcript, and we can walk you through that. So there are examples where you'd actually want to use more formats that we provide. So we're going to give you a little bit of background about the company as well, now that we've kind of gone through captions and transcripts and how it relates to Brightcove, but just so you have a little more idea of kind of who we are. The 3Play Media started when we were doing some work at the Spoken Language Lab at CSAIL, which is the computer science department at MIT. We were approached by MIT OpenCourseware with the idea of applying a cost-effective solution. We quickly recognized that speech recognition alone certainly would not suffice, but it did provide a starting point. So from there, we developed an innovative transcription process that uses both technology and human to yield high-quality transcripts with time synchronization. We're constantly developing new products and ways to use this time and text data that lives together, largely with the input from our customers. Our focus is certainly transcription and captions, but we also do other services such as transcript alignment if you already have a transcript, and we're now doing translation into other languages. And when we do translation, all of the tools, in this case subtitles, transcripts, are also able to be used with the translated format. But certainly, accuracy and quality is something that's always a concern and something that we really put a lot of time into as well. And with regard to the speech recognition, we have a multi-step process that delivers very high accuracy, even in cases of poor audio quality or multiple speakers or difficult content. So all of our work is done by professionally trained transcriptionists here in the United States. We've done a lot of work on the operational side of the business, which is making it possible to match the transcriptionist expertise to certain types of content. That results in a much higher quality product. And one example would be if we get, say, math lectures or tax training tutorials. It makes a lot more sense to have someone who has experience with either math or financial background to be working on those files. So every transcriptionist goes through a rigorous training program before they touch any file. So I'm actually going to show you a quick peek into that. This is a little bit more of an idea of kind of how we manage quality. We have a rigorous training program. So it covers everything from basic grammar to mathematical content to how to deal with the fact that we just speak different from how we write. And sometimes we will change course mid-sentence. Along the same lines, we want to make sure that the customer has the power to make corrections when necessary as well. So sometimes a name is misspelled or it's just difficult to know how to properly spell a proper noun. We give you the tool to go in and make a change, save that change, as well as play the media back from an exact point so you can review everything and do everything very quickly. This way you don't have to reprocess anything, plus all of the times are going to be updated automatically to account for the changes. While we've built a number of tools that are somewhat self-service and automated, a lot of what we're doing is based on the fact that we give our customers a lot of attention and really value their feedback. And so we enjoy building the relationships. We expect to build relationships. One of the things we really like working with Brightcove is that we have a great relationship with them, and we can constantly build new ways to make the two systems work really well together. So we've included several URLs here before we take some questions. You'll see some resources, just a Get Started link, as well as some video tutorials. We've included links to both our video tutorials as well as Brightcove's training videos. Both of those are using Brightcove players with interactive transcripts. So you can get a sense for what that looks like very quickly, as well as links that we shared before. So if you want to take a look at what those are looking like in production, please feel free to do so. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Andrea and Adam and bring Mike into the mix, and we'll answer some questions.
Thanks, Josh. Once again, everyone, you can submit your questions using the chat pod on the left side of your screen. Give them a few moments as they come through.
So as we're pulling some of these questions, the first one that we can knock out is pricing. So I can comment on the captioning and transcription. We basically price it on the volume of the content itself. So everything is based on the length of recorded content per recorded hour, and basically prorate accordingly. We prorate even down to the nearest second.
I see Robin asked, can your product work on presentations such as this, or just publish video? Well, the way that we're actually going to be delivering the recorded content for the recorded demonstration here is we're going to actually put this into a Brightcove player with 3Play Media, full transcription from 3Play Media available to everyone to take a look at once the recording is ready. So it is definitely possible to create transcriptions for things such as this.
There's also a question about just the plug-in pricing, the archive search, and additional costs. We have a free tier, and it takes quite a bit of effort to get up to a paid tier, actually, usually. We try to make it pretty simple, and really unless you have really tremendous traffic or more customized needs, which is totally reasonable and we're happy to work with, but unless you need some customization, we try to make it free. But there are certain situations where there is a small monthly fee. One thing we should mention also is everything is web-based on our end, and that the interactive transcript, archive search, those are all running, for those who are more technical, running over our API and connecting to the Brightcove APIs. So nothing has to be installed. It's just adding some code to the pages that you're publishing on. And there, if you need it to be hosted on premise, that's something that can be discussed as well. But usually we would host the transcripts, and it's all done very, it's a very quick installation.
On the Brightcove end, it's a cloud-based application or software as a service. There's nothing that needs to be installed on your end, so it's all delivered via the cloud.
Yeah, and just to add to that, Adam, this is Mike from Brightcove, and it's actually a very simple configuration set up on the Brightcove side, and essentially all you're doing is pointing to those transcription files for whatever given player that you're doing the transcription for.
There are a couple questions about security. We've built in a number of security measures on our end for the transcription. Everything is delivered over SSL encryption and things like that. When it comes to transmitting the captions, it's over an API if it's done in the kind of standard method, but there are ways that they can be transmitted to another server and then served up really within a firewall so that security can be really maintained very, very carefully. And I know that Brightcove has built in quite a bit of security features as well.
Yeah, I see a question here on recording live video, and yeah, that's not a problem for Brightcove. We actually have a relationship with Akamai that allows us to record live as they're taking place, and then once that recording is made available, then you could certainly use that like any other on-demand asset, and do a transcription of that for 3Play, the same as you would for any other on-demand.
There's a good question about HTML5 support with captions and transcripts. So the interactive transcripts are using a JavaScript widget on the outside of the player, so those are a little bit more friendly for HTML5. But with captions, because it is a Flash-based plugin right now, we're speaking with some folks at Brightcove to make that HTML5 support. Unfortunately, nobody really out there has figured out a phenomenal solution for any video platform quite yet, and so we're definitely working closely with Brightcove to address that as well.
So there's a question here on how do I install the plugin. So that's very easy to do in the player. You can do that through a markup language that we provide. It's a very, very simple one-line addition that essentially points to an external Swift file that processes DFXP file provided by 3Play.
And I think we'll probably give a minute to allow maybe a few more people who might be thinking of some questions to ask them. But for the most part, if your question wasn't answered, I'd be happy to follow up with you offline and either answer that question for you or provide you with someone who can answer the question. Again, my name is Adam Jacobs, and my contact information will be presented at the end of this webcast.
So there's a question on the external Swift file. That the external Swift file that's external to the Brightcove player is actually provided by Brightcove, and it interacts with the player. Through that Swift file is how you essentially point to the DFXP file that's provided by 3Play.
All right, thank you so much. If all of you could please take a moment to answer the polling questions currently displayed on your screen, it would be greatly appreciated. I want to thank all of our participants as well as Adam, Josh, and Michael for being with us today. We hope this webcast has been helpful for you and your organization. If you have any further questions or would like to request more information, feel free to contact the Brightcove and 3Play Media team at Carahsoft. Our contact information will be displaying on your screen in just a moment, so please don't hesitate to call or email us. Thanks again and have a great day.